There's something undeniably terrifying about a man who walks alone, not because he's loud or brash, but because his silence burns with the intensity of 1,000 storms. While others cling to the safety of crowds and the comfort of validation, he stands apart, silent, resolute, and unyielding. This is the man who has walked through the fires of betrayal and hardship, emerging stronger and more dangerous with every step. He's not defined by the world's approval or shaken by its scorn. Instead, he thrives in solitude, turning every quiet moment into a crucible of growth and resilience. His silence is not emptiness, it's power restrained, a storm waiting to break. Every lesson, every scar, every triumph has sharpened his edge until he's a weapon unto himself. Respect doesn't follow him because he demands it. It follows because it's inevitable, a fire that radiates from his very core. But what makes this lone wolf so dangerous? Why does his presence, even in silence, inspire both awe and fear? Let's delve into the mind of this rare, untamed spirit to uncover what makes him a force the world cannot ignore. Solitude is a crucible of transformation, where the lone wolf forges his strength away from the chaos of the world. It's in these moments of isolation that his mind becomes sharper and his focus clearer. Unlike those who fear being alone, he welcomes it as a necessary pause, a space to deconstruct life's complexities and rebuild his thoughts with unyielding clarity. Solitude isn't a void to him, it's the silence where his power grows. When the world rushes to seek validation, he stands unmoved, rooted in his self-sufficiency. The lone wolf has mastered the art of self-reliance, breaking free from the shackles of external approval. He doesn't live for others' applause, nor does he bend under the weight of criticism. This independence is his armor, shielding him from manipulation and empowering him to navigate life on his own terms. His solitude grants him unparalleled emotional resilience. While others seek comfort in the chatter of friends or the buzz of social interactions, he sits with his emotions, facing them head-on. This practice has taught him to weather storms without crumbling and to carry pain without losing his balance. He emerges from every emotional trial stronger, more grounded, and more in control. The lone wolf's adaptability stems from his time spent alone. Without anyone to lean on, he's become a master of problem-solving, turning roadblocks into stepping stones. His resourcefulness is not born out of necessity, but cultivated as a skill, an edge he carries into every aspect of his life. This ability to thrive under pressure without a safety net makes him unpredictable and uniquely capable. In solitude, he finds the clarity that others often miss. Without the noise of opinions and distractions, his mind is free to delve into the deeper truths of life. This heightened awareness allows him to see patterns and possibilities that others overlook. His decisions are not clouded by the fleeting emotions or shallow priorities that plague the crowd. Instead, they are deliberate and exact. Solitude also grants him mastery over time, a resource most people squander. While the masses fill their days with trivialities, he uses his alone time to refine his skills, expand his knowledge, and strengthen his body and mind. Every hour spent in solitude is an investment in his growth, and every skill honed in isolation becomes a weapon he wields with precision. This man doesn't waste energy on superficial connections or unnecessary drama. He values his peace above all else, choosing to engage only in relationships and endeavors that align with his principles. This selective focus ensures that his time and energy are spent only on what truly matters, amplifying the impact of his actions. The lone wolf's ability to self-reflect sets him apart. In the stillness of solitude, he examines his flaws, confronts his fears, and recalibrates his goals. This relentless self-assessment keeps him disciplined and continually evolving. Unlike those who fear their own thoughts, he embraces them, transforming every weakness into strength and every misstep into a lesson. For the lone wolf, solitude isn't isolation, it's empowerment. It's the freedom to become his truest self, untainted by societal expectations or distractions. This connection with his inner strength makes him formidable, as he emerges from every solitary moment with a deeper understanding of himself and the world. His power doesn't come from being separate from the world, but from being deeply rooted in his independence, clarity, and purpose. Now let us claim our independence together in the comments. In solitude I rise. Let's show them the power of focused, unstoppable growth. If you feel called, you may also subscribe to Obsidian at this time and hit the notification bell to continue receiving light code upgrades for your spiritual growth. A lone wolf is dangerous because he answers to no one but himself. Unlike those who rely on others for emotional or social sustenance, he has cultivated a fierce independence that shields him from manipulation. This self-reliance makes him unpredictable. He is not swayed by the opinions or expectations of others, and his decisions are born from clarity, not compromise. His emotional independence is a weapon in itself. While others are entangled in the drama of relationships and the pressures of validation, he stands apart, calm and unshaken. He doesn't panic in moments of crisis because he spent his solitude mastering his emotions. This emotional discipline allows him to act with precision, while those around him are paralyzed by fear or doubt. A lone wolf's quiet nature often disarms those who underestimate him. His silence is not born of ignorance, but of careful observation. He watches, analyzes, and plans, while others reveal their intentions. By the time a situation escalates, he's already 10 steps ahead, having anticipated outcomes and prepared for contingencies. His ability to see what others miss is part of what makes him so dangerous. The unpredictability of a lone wolf is one of his most potent traits. He doesn't reveal his thoughts or intentions easily, which keeps others on edge. His calm demeanor masks the depth of his capabilities, leaving opponents and adversaries unsure of how to approach or challenge him. This strategic ambiguity makes him a formidable force, difficult to read and even harder to counter. Unlike those who waste energy on superficial conflicts or frivolous pursuits, he conserves his strength for moments that matter. Every action he takes is calculated, and every decision serves a purpose. He doesn't engage in battles that don't align with his goals, but when provoked, his response is swift, decisive, and often devastating. He is not distracted by the need to conform or belong. While society pressures individuals to fit into predefined molds, the lone wolf operates outside these constraints. This freedom allows him to pursue paths others wouldn't dare to tread, giving him access to opportunities and insights unavailable to the crowd. His willingness to defy convention is both his edge and his danger. The lone wolf is acutely aware of his surroundings. His solitude has honed his instincts, making him hyper-vigilant and deeply attuned to the dynamics around him. This heightened awareness, combined with his analytical mind, allows him to anticipate threats and adapt to challenges with ease. In situations where others falter, he remains steady, his confidence rooted in his readiness. His ability to maintain calm under pressure is perhaps his greatest weapon. While others succumb to stress or make impulsive decisions, he keeps a clear head. This composure not only gives him the upper hand in conflicts, but also makes him a natural leader in chaotic situations. His calm presence inspires both awe and fear, as it signals a level of control that few possess. What makes the lone wolf truly dangerous is his resolve. Once he commits to a course of action, nothing can deter him. His determination is forged by years of facing challenges alone, and his willpower is unbreakable. This combination of focus, independence, and resilience makes him a force to be reckoned with, whether as an ally or an adversary. Stop right there. The following is a brief message for the elite few. This is not for everyone. Seriously, if you're here hoping for puppy memes or a safe space, turn back now. The obsidian inner order is where the real chosen ones gather, people who've stared down the archons, shredded the matrix, and still had time to manifest parking spots at Whole Foods. If you're hearing this, it's because fate decided you might be worth it. Don't blow it. Inside, you'll unlock forbidden content too spicy for YouTube, like the Matrix once you broke and the universe is your ATM machine. A step-by-step guide to making the universe work for you. And yes, our modern manifestation mechanics grimoire is in there, teaching you how to turn your messy living room into an abundance vortex while channeling literal magic. But the real treasure, our private Discord and community chats where over 400 chosen ones hang out, no muggles allowed. Weekly calls, yep, chosen singles, oh, it's cosmic matchmaking at its finest. Just don't embarrass us. Spots are limited and we mean it. We've booted posers before and we'll do it again if you take a dump in our dojo. This isn't Club Penguin. If you think you've got what it takes to join the #1 Ascension Nexus for Chosen Ones, the link to the Obsidian Inner Order is in the description. If not, that's fine. Good luck explaining to your future self why you missed out. The lone wolf is defined by his preference for peace and independence. He values tranquility and avoids unnecessary interactions, choosing solitude over shallow connections. However, this preference for quiet should not be mistaken for passivity. When provoked, his fierce protectiveness and unshakable resolve emerge, revealing the strength beneath his calm exterior. One of his most defining traits is his heightened sense of observation. He watches more than he speaks, processing his surroundings with remarkable precision. While others may rush to judgment or action, the lone wolf takes his time, ensuring that his understanding of the situation is complete. This ability to analyze and act with care gives him a distinct advantage in any scenario. Boundaries are sacred to the lone wolf. He knows his limits and expects others to respect them. Unlike those who compromise their values to maintain relationships, he enforces his boundaries with quiet confidence. This steadfast commitment to his principles not only protects his peace, but also commands respect from those around him. His silence often masks a deep well of strength and capability. While others may misinterpret his quiet demeanor as weakness, it is in fact a sign of his discipline. He doesn't need to announce his abilities or seek recognition. His actions speak louder than words ever could. This restraint makes his strength all the more formidable when it is finally revealed. The lone wolf is a master of self-control. He doesn't let his emotions dictate his actions, even in the face of provocation. This discipline allows him to maintain focus and avoid being derailed by distractions. His ability to stay composed under pressure is a testament to the years he has spent mastering his inner world. While he values solitude, the lone wolf is not antisocial. He chooses his relationships carefully, surrounding himself only with those who align with his values. These connections, though few, are deeply meaningful and built on mutual respect. He invests his energy wisely, ensuring that his relationships are a source of strength rather than unnecessary complication. His adaptability is another hallmark trait. Having faced life's challenges alone, he has developed the ability to navigate unpredictable situations with ease. This resourcefulness makes him a problem solver, someone who can find solutions where others see only obstacles. His confidence in his ability to adapt gives him an edge in any conflict or challenge. The lone wolf's quiet demeanor often leads others to underestimate him, but this is a grave mistake. His silence is deliberate, a means of conserving energy and gathering information. Those who assume he is passive or disengaged soon find themselves outmatched by his calculated and decisive actions. Above all, the lone wolf is disciplined in every aspect of his life. From his thoughts to his actions, everything is measured and intentional. This discipline ensures that he remains in control, even in the most chaotic situations. It is this inner mastery that sets him apart, making him a figure of quiet power and unshakable resolve. The lone wolf's solitude is often mistaken for weakness or social ineptitude. Society, with its fixation on constant interaction and connectivity, views his preference for independence as a flaw. Yet what the world fails to see is that his solitude is a source of strength, not a sign of loneliness or inadequacy. His ability to stand alone is a testament to his self-sufficiency, not his inability to connect. Many people underestimate him because he doesn't seek attention or validation. In a world obsessed with external recognition, his quiet confidence is an enigma. To onlookers, his disinterest in accolades or applause appears as indifference, but in truth, it is a reflection of his unshakable self-worth. He knows his value and doesn't require others to affirm it. Some label him as antisocial or aloof, failing to understand the depth of his character. His choice to limit his interactions isn't born of disdain for others, but from his appreciation for meaningful connections. He is not against relationships, but prefers those that align with his principles and values. Shallow exchanges hold no appeal for him, a perspective that sets him apart from the crowd. The world often conflates solitude with loneliness, but the lone wolf thrives in his independence. While others fear being alone, he finds liberation in it. His solitude isn't a void to be filled, but a sanctuary where he can reflect, grow, and recharge. This misunderstanding leads many to underestimate the strength that his independence affords him. Because he doesn't conform to societal norms, the lone wolf is often misunderstood. In a culture that equates busyness with productivity and constant communication with value, his calm, deliberate approach is seen as peculiar. Yet it is precisely this detachment from the rat race that allows him to maintain his focus and excel on his own terms. Others often assume that his quiet demeanor reflects a lack of ambition or drive, but this couldn't be further from the truth. While the crowd clamors for recognition, the lone wolf works silently, building his strength and achieving his goals without fanfare. His success comes as a shock to those who underestimated him, a reminder that true power doesn't always announce itself. The lone wolf's independence can also be perceived as arrogance. People misinterpret his self-reliance as a rejection of collaboration. But in reality, he simply chooses his alliances with care. He values quality over quantity, and his selectiveness ensures that his relationships are built on mutual respect and trust rather than convenience or obligation. He is often judged for his unwillingness to conform to societal expectations of constant availability. Unlike others who stretch themselves thin to meet every demand, he prioritizes his time and energy. To some, this boundary setting appears selfish, but to him it is a necessary act of self-preservation and a cornerstone of his strength. Perhaps the greatest misunderstanding lies in the fear he inspires. Those who cannot comprehend his silence or independence project their insecurities onto him. They mistake his restraint for coldness and his focus for detachment. Yet this fear is a reflection of their discomfort with his power that comes from his refusal to depend on anyone but himself. The strength of a lone wolf lies in his ability to thrive under pressure. He has faced life's challenges without relying on others, developing a resilience that is both rare and formidable. Adversity does not weaken him, it sharpens him, making him more prepared for the next battle. Every hardship he endures becomes a building block of his unshakable foundation. His solitude has taught him to adapt and overcome, regardless of the circumstances. Without external support, he has honed the skills necessary to navigate an unpredictable world. This adaptability makes him a survivor, a man who can turn obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into triumphs. His ability to evolve ensures that he is never truly defeated, no matter the odds. The lone wolf's strength is deeply rooted in his sense of identity. He knows who he is and what he stands for, and this clarity guides every decision he makes. While others struggle with self-doubt or seek approval to validate their worth, he moves forward with unwavering confidence. His self-awareness is a compass that keeps him steady, even in turbulent times. Resilience defines him. He doesn't crumble in the face of failure or rejection because he has learned to carry himself through life's trials. Unlike those who rely on others for comfort or motivation, he finds strength within. This internal reserve of power allows him to rise after every fall, emerging stronger and more determined each time. One of his most underestimated strengths is his independence. By refusing to depend on anyone for his happiness or success, he has removed the vulnerabilities that come with dependence. He is not swayed by others' opinions or weighed down by their expectations. This freedom allows him to chart his own path, unencumbered by the need to please or conform. His ability to remain calm under pressure is another cornerstone of his power. While others might panic or make impulsive decisions, he maintains a level head. This composure gives him the upper hand in conflicts and crises, allowing him to assess situations with clarity and act with precision. It's not just his strength, but his control over it that makes him a formidable force. The lone wolf thrives on discipline. His solitude has taught him the value of structure and focus, enabling him to master both his inner world and his external circumstances. This discipline ensures that he doesn't squander his energy or time on trivial pursuits. Every action he takes is intentional, every step deliberate. Another aspect of his strength lies in his ability to embrace solitude as a tool for growth. He doesn't fear being alone because he understands its value. In silence, he refines his thoughts, plans his moves, and strengthens his resolve. This ability to turn solitude into a source of power is a defining trait that sets him apart from the crowd. Ultimately, the lone wolf's strength is his ability to operate independently of the world's validation. He doesn't need applause to know his worth, nor does he crumble under criticism. His resilience, adaptability, and self-awareness make him a force of nature, a man who cannot be tamed or broken. Underestimating the lone wolf is a mistake that often comes with consequences. His independence makes him an unyielding force, whether as an ally or an adversary. He isn't swayed by the external forces that influence others, giving him a unique advantage in any situation. You may not see him coming, but when he acts, the impact is undeniable. His ability to remain calm under pressure is a weapon in itself. While others crumble under the weight of chaos, he thrives in it. This composure allows him to outthink and outmaneuver his opponents. He doesn't react impulsively. Instead, he observes, plans, and strikes with precision, ensuring his actions are both calculated and effective. One of his greatest strengths is his emotional detachment. Unlike others who are easily manipulated through their emotions, he maintains control over his feelings. This self-mastery makes him impervious to emotional games, giving him the clarity to see through deception and the discipline to act in his best interest. The lone wolf's unpredictability is another reason why he is so dangerous to underestimate. He doesn't reveal his intentions or plans, leaving others guessing. This enigmatic nature keeps people on edge, unsure of his next move. His ability to operate under the radar while quietly building his strength often catches those around him off guard. When provoked, his response is both calculated and impactful. He doesn't waste energy on petty retaliation or emotional outbursts. Instead, he bides his time, ensuring that when he does act, it is decisive and devastating. His patience and strategic thinking make him an opponent who cannot be underestimated. His independence also means he is not reliant on external validation or support. This detachment frees him from the vulnerabilities that plague those who seek approval or depend on others. Without these weaknesses, he becomes a self-contained powerhouse, capable of navigating life's challenges without compromise. The lone wolf's ability to focus is unmatched. He is not distracted by the noise of the crowd or the superficial pursuits that often consume others. This singular focus allows him to channel all his energy into his goals, achieving results that others can only aspire to. His efficiency and determination are a testament to the power of his solitude. His resilience is perhaps his most intimidating trait. No matter how many times he is knocked down, he rises stronger, having learned from every fall. This ability to adapt and rebuild makes him nearly impossible to defeat. He views setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities to refine himself, a perspective that ensures his continual growth. To underestimate the lone wolf is to misunderstand his strength. His quiet nature, his independence, and his resilience are not weaknesses, but sources of immense power. He doesn't need to announce his capabilities or seek recognition. They are evident in his actions. Respect is not demanded by him. It is earned through the quiet ferocity of his presence and the calculated precision of his moves. A man who spends time alone is not to be underestimated. His solitude is not a weakness, but a wellspring of power forged through discipline, resilience, and self-mastery. The lone wolf operates independently of the world's expectations, thriving on the strength of his own resolve. He doesn't need validation or approval to know his worth, and that independence makes him a force to be reckoned with. His strength lies in his ability to remain calm under pressure, adapt to challenges, and act decisively without hesitation. He's a man of clarity, unshaken by the noise of the crowd or the pull of superficial distractions. His resilience is unmatched, his focus unbreakable, and his ability to thrive without external support unparalleled. To respect the lone wolf is to acknowledge the depth of his strength, the clarity of his purpose, and the power of his independence. Recognize that his quiet demeanor hides a well of discipline and capability that few can rival. He doesn't need to prove himself. His presence alone commands attention and respect. Reflect on the traits of the lone wolf and consider how solitude can be a source of growth and power in your own life. Are you embracing your independence, honing your focus, and cultivating resilience? Share your thoughts and stories about what it means to walk alone and thrive. And if this resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone who might draw strength from understanding the power of the lone wolf.